So, great. So a few things that are something I'd like to frame before we get into the work, the painting. And we just kind of did that in actually what the conversation we just had and your sharing and how you just talked about it is exactly to the point. We, tend to think of what we're doing here as, this is a painting class or painting workshop or online painting. So this is I'm making a painting and we're talking about what we're doing in terms of, I'm liking the painting more, or it's however that might be. And what I'd like to, and yes, that's certainly the case. But in the larger context, and how I'd like to just mention again is I'm using the painting activity as a way to bring me here, to engage me in the moment, to perform as a mindfulness practice. And it's certainly, it's like, oh, the painting's coming along. I mean, yeah, right, of course. I mean, that's our world, that's our, and certainly, I think this kind of way of working will enhance our painting practice. But really what's happening is our way of working in painting is strengthening our awareness practice. That's really the context. And I don't mean in this class or this course. I mean, that's actually the case. That is, our painting, if we are really entering the activity in good faith, if we are entering the activity with courage, with deep engagement, it's going to change us, or it'll certainly change our minds, and it will, affect how we are in the world. It'll allow us to be more present. I sent out, I don't know if any of you had seen what I sent out this morning. So I was at the Denver Art Museum on Saturday, and there was a lovely show, beautiful show of American painters in the 19th century, at the end of the 19th century in Paris. It was John Singer Sargent and Whistler, Mary Cassatt, and a bunch of lesser known but fabulous painters, Metcalf and Childe Hassam and William Merritt Chase. Beautiful painters, God. And it was really interesting for me how, the whole thing was interesting, how they contextualized it, and you got a sense of all kinds of cultural things that were, very important, so, some African-American engagement and the women who, were finding, finally a way in, and all kinds of stuff. Influence of the, the French Impressionists on them, and the Salon. But so a lot of the painting, I felt like I was, kind of looking through this lens into the 19th century, the paintings, felt like I was, looking into that world. And then there were some paintings that didn't feel like that at all. They were just completely present tense. In general, Mary Cassatt was sort of like that. She was like, just not all of it, but a lot of it felt like I was just, it was now, phenomenally contemporary. And it wasn't just like, oh, there's more of an influence of Degas. That wasn't it. I mean, that was going on. But I think it was because his way of working and thinking about putting a picture together fit her more fully. And there were pieces that were there that felt like it was just present tense. I was looking at this young woman and she was now. And because Mary Cassatt was so present tense, there wasn't any, she wasn't trying, she didn't move into some assumption of how the work was supposed to look. There was a freedom that she had to be, and not just but also a kind of a, it must have been like a fierce engagement of what is, that really struck her. And there were some landscapes, William Merritt Chase, the sky was so clear and so present tense. And that he was so present tense. I mean, he was right there. So, getting back to what I was talking about, what we're doing here, it's like, and this happens for us. We come upon, paintings in the museum or around the world, or objects, and they could be, from hundreds of years ago or thousands, but there's something that strikes us and it's just now. And so we get to do that. I mean, that's actually why we're doing this in the first place. So yeah, making a painting, but really being present through the activity. And that gets somehow embodied in the paint. That's what I wanted to say. So it was great to hear that you shifted, Diana, not just because for the sake of the painting, you shifted for the sake of your engagement, for your being present, Very cool.